If you've ever noticed your body shutting down, pulling away, or feeling very disconnected from pleasure, even when you want to feel present, connected, and open, this video is for you. As a therapist, I see this often, and as a human, I've lived it too. Your body isn't broken, it learned how to protect you. And today, I want to explore why pleasure isn't just about mindset. It's deeply connected to your nervous system, your sense of safety, and your capacity to receive. If you're new here, my name is Raquel Perez, and I am a licensed therapist here in the state of Colorado. I specialize in helping people understand intimacy, emotional connection, and the relationship with themselves through the lens of the nervous system. A lot of my work centers around a concept that I call creating safety for insight, because often the answers that people are searching for are within them, but those answers can feel really hard to access when the body doesn't feel safe enough. And that's especially true when it comes to pleasure. One of the biggest misconceptions I see is that pleasure is something that you can just think your way into. That if you just relax enough, or try harder, or shift your mindset, you should be able to feel it. But pleasure, it doesn't begin in the mind. It begins in the body. And more specifically, it begins in a nervous system that feels safe enough to open. Because from your body's perspective, pleasure requires vulnerability. It requires letting your guard down, being present, receiving sensation, staying open in the moment. And if your body has learned that open isn't safe, it won't prioritize pleasure. Not because it's gone, because something else matters more. Your nervous system is constantly asking one question: am I safe enough right now? And if the answer is no, or even I'm not sure, your body will shift into protection. And that might look like tension, disconnection, distraction, numbness, pulling away, or feeling like you just can't get there. And this can feel confusing, especially when logically things seem okay. When your partner is kind, when the environment feels safe, when you want to be present, but your body doesn't follow, that's because your nervous system doesn't operate on logic. It operates on memory, on past experiences, on patterns, on what it has learned over time about what is safe and what is not. So if your body hesitates, that hesitation is not failure. It's information. Pleasure is also deeply connected to something that we call capacity. Your nervous system has a window, a range where it can stay present, open, and regulated. When you're within that window, you might notice more access to sensation, more connection, more ease in receiving, a sense of being with the experience instead of outside of it. But when you're outside of that window, whether that's from stress, overwhelm, emotional pain, or even subtle pressure, your body shifts. And that shift can happen very quickly, sometimes without you even realizing that it has happened. Pleasure becomes less accessible, not because you're doing anything wrong, but because your system is trying to take care of you. This is why you might notice some days you might feel really opened, and others you don't. Moments of connection followed by sudden withdrawal, or the ability to feel pleasure in one context but not the other. And sometimes it's even more subtle than that. It might look like your mind drifting, your body going a little numb, a slight tension you can't quite name, or a sense of, I'm here, but not fully here. Nothing about that is random. It's your nervous system adjusting in real time based on what it has the capacity to hold in that moment. And capacity isn't fixed. It's influenced by things like stress, sleep, emotional experiences, relational dynamics, and even how safe your body felt earlier in that day. So when pleasure comes and goes, it's not inconsistency, it's responsiveness. Before your body allows pleasure, it looks for trust. Not just trust in another person, but trust in the moment, trust in the environment, and most importantly, trust in yourself. Because from your body's perspective, pleasure involves letting something in. And if there's any uncertainty about whether that's safe, your system will hesitate. Trust, in this sense, is not something that you can force. It's something that your body learns through experiences. It builds when your body starts to recognize, I can slow down if I need to. I can check in with myself. I can stop or change direction without consequence. I don't have to override what I'm feeling. And this is especially important if at any point your no was not fully honored by others or by yourself. Because when no doesn't feel safe or available, your body can't fully trust a yes. So even if part of you wants pleasure, another part of you may still be scanning for risk. This is why forcing pleasure or trying to push through resistance often creates more disconnection. It teaches the body that its signals won't be listened to. But when your body begins to experience choice, agency, and permission, that's where trust starts to rebuild. And from there, pleasure doesn't have to be chased. It has space to emerge. Instead of thinking of pleasure as something you arrive at, it can be helpful to think of it as something you practice. Because when pleasure becomes a goal, it often brings pressure with it. And pressure, even really subtle pressure, can be enough to shift your nervous system right out of safety. So this practice isn't about getting somewhere. It's about learning how to stay. Stay with sensation. Stay with yourself. Stay with what's actually happening in that moment. And that often starts very small. It might look like noticing a moment of warmth in your body, feeling the texture of something on your hands, staying present for a few seconds longer than usual, softening just 5% instead of all the way, allowing something to feel neutral instead of trying to make it feel good. And sometimes the practice is even simpler than that. It's noticing when your body doesn't feel open and responding with curiosity instead of criticism, because that in itself creates safety. Your nervous system doesn't need intensity to relearn pleasure. It doesn't need you to push or perform to get it right. It needs repetition, gentleness, and moments where it realizes, I can be here and I'm still safe. Over time, those moments begin to build, and what once felt distant or inconsistent starts to feel a little bit more familiar, a little more accessible, and a little more yours. If this is something that you've been noticing in your own experience, that sense of wanting to feel more, but your body not quite allowing it, I created a meditation for this week that gently guides you back into sensation without forcing pleasure. It's not about making anything happen. It's about creating the conditions where your body can start to feel safe enough to open at its own pace. I also created a worksheet for this series to help you reflect on your own patterns with pleasure, connection, intimacy, and safety. And if you're wanting to go deeper into this work, I have a free booklet called Sacred Spaces: Creating Safety for Insight, which walks you through how to begin creating that internal sense of safety in a really gentle and accessible way. If you're interested in any of the resources that I mentioned here today, you can find them all and download them for free in the description down below. Thank you for being here, and truly, thank you for allowing me to be part of your healing journey. This work takes courage, and it also takes patience, and it deserves to happen at your pace. Well, my friend, that's all I have for this video. Until next time, bye for now.